For your Friday viewing pleasure, everyone, I think it's about time I finally cover the case concerning one Sidney Starr. Now, for the purposes of this video, this individual, if I'm not mistaken, identifies as a female, as a woman. Now, I understand that this person still has an appendage connected to the lower part of their body. That doesn't matter. For YouTube guidelines and censorship, and to be politically correct, I'm going to refer to this individual as she, as a woman. All right, so don't come for me in the comment section. You heard what I said. With all that being said, Sidney Starr has been accused of doing something very heinous to an individual that is not of legal age. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to react to a video from the Shade Room. This individual was accused and arrested about 3 weeks ago, and they showed up in court a few days ago to have their initial hearings for this, okay? So I'm going to react to this video. Before I do, if you've never been accused of anything like this, let me know by hitting that like button. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. So without further ado, and by the way, these allegations, because she hasn't been convicted yet, so these allegations you might find very triggering and heinous. All right, so trigger warning and fair use to the Shade Room before we get into it. All right, let's go.
Sidney Starr, a fucking
Those are the moments after TV and internet personality Sidney Starr, whose legal name is Sydney Favors, was taken to jail. Posted by Blognay on Instagram. Her manager told TSR that she was in Atlanta working on a television show.
I'm interested in doing thoroughly so that justice can be served properly.
Hapeville, Georgia police promising a thorough investigation outside the Embassy Suites Hotel, not far from the airport.
That was on August 2nd, but
Okay, so again, Justin Carter, the host of TSR Investigates, is going to cover this. And fair use to the Shade Room, the title of this video is Sidney Starr's family speaks out after her court appearance. Where's my sound effect? Wait a minute, not that one. This one. Oh, not that one. Now, most of you know Sidney Starr from Love and Hip Hop. Some of you might know Sidney Starr from the allegations or the rumor between her and Chingy, which we now know to be false because she lied about it at first and then admitted basically when all the smoke had cleared decades later, right? Or a decade or so later, after Chingy's rap career, what was his rap career at that time, basically fizzled out because of these allegations, because nobody wanted to work with him because they believed her, they believed Sidney and not him. So nobody wanted to work with him, produce with him or anything like that. So his rap career basically grinded to a halt after these allegations came out, which I thought was very grimy of her. And there's one of the reasons why people look at her the way that they do, because they already know she's scandalous, if you will. She is a scandalous individual. To let that linger out there and not say anything until years later. But let's continue.
police, they did not release a ton of information since then because the alleged victim in this case is a minor. So that's why we showed up at court today.
We're going to begin with position one, State versus Sidney Favors.
You can see her sadness. Sidney Starr for the first time before a Fulton County Superior Court judge. Her attorney making a plea that Sidney should be released on bond.
Boy, I don't know how old she is, but that's a hard age right there, boy. Woo, man. With all the makeup, with all the outfits and the get up and the hairdo, that is rough, man. Woo-wee.
As she fights those felony aggravated child sodomy and sexual battery charges against her.
The witness has no history of any kind. This was a first offense. I've had accounts from families and close associates that she has never been threatening towards anybody or shown any tendency to harass or intimidate.
August 2nd, police were called to that hotel where they met up with upset family members of a 13-year-old boy in the lobby.
They got Sidney Starr, y'all. Sexually assaulting a 13-year-old at a hotel.
So we are here at the hotel, and really the only way you can get up to your room is with a room key. Prosecutor said that Sidney first was in the lobby here of the hotel when that 13-year-old boy approached her saying that she was cute. That's when this all started.
They observed a female exiting the room 529, and she stated that while she was in the lobby, a tall black male approached her, told her that she was cute. They engaged in a brief conversation. She stated that she left the lobby and returned to her room occupied by another individual who she identified as Larry, L-A-R-R-Y. Law enforcement inside of that room, the allegation is that they engaged in sexual contact. The juvenile child exited the room. And detectives with law enforcement, after speaking with the individual who exited, identified that individual as Sidney Favors, the defendant. Favors admitted that the juvenile had entered the elevator with her and went into her room, and she was then detained. The defendant themselves admits to oral intercourse or oral contact with the victim child.
The boy's mother.
Lord have mercy. God, man. Now, the rumor is, and this is just on the grapevine, was that these things occurred, or Sidney was doing what she was doing with this individual. And then as this individual was getting ready to return the favor, they realized that they weren't with the person that they thought they was with. Or you get my point, right? And that's where this whole thing kind of, just it went out of control, went off the rails at that point. Now, I don't know this to be true, okay? But you heard the investigator give the account of what happened that night, okay? I didn't cut in there because I want y'all to hear that in full, all right? So, and again, this is an individual that's not of legal age. Now, I don't know if Sidney knew that going into this, because it seems like the boy, sir, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because, yeah, this is triggering.
Even had a statement read in court saying that the incident has led to emotional and psychological trauma.
Since this happened, he has had emotional and psychological trauma. It is postponed. He was required to attend intensive therapy to begin the healing process for what was done to him. At this age, when he should feel safe, innocent, and protected, he is now forced to cope with trauma that no child should have to ever endure.
Despite it all, though, Sidney Starr's attorney maintaining her innocence, asking the court for leniency with bond.
At this time, the defendant will remain in a no bond status at this time. Thank you.
Boy, you saw that head drop. God, whew. You ain't going nowhere. In jail, you're going to stay with flight risk. They don't want you out. They don't want you out here with this, law-abiding folk out here in society.
Enemy spotted.
You are
Enemy spotted.
heavy. Pause.
Thank you, Mr. Lakes. Thank you, Mr. Peters.
Thank you, Judge.
The judge, though, not buying it, saying that her social media and television presence, coupled with her living out of town in Chicago, makes her a risk. The bond was denied. She was walked out by sheriff's deputies, taken back to the Fulton County Jail.
This decision was made off of speculative opinion and not evidence.
By the way, I wonder what jail she's at. Is she at a male prison or a female prison? I wonder that as well.
We spoke to her best friends and her manager outside the courtroom today.
We would like to let you know that Sidney Favors, also known as Sidney Starr, is disappointed by the bond decision today by the judge. Sidney is still in good spirits and asks that the public try not to make a judgment of the guilt based on this decision.
Walk us through how she's feeling right now.
Yeah, she's not doing well at all. She's taking this very, very hard. Sidney does not have a criminal background. She barely has a traffic violation. This is just something that she is trying to really understand, right? And I think, from the conversations that I've had with Sidney, she tears up, she cries on the phone, just about how scared for her safety she is.
Now, again, we're looking at this from the outside in, right? I'm sorry. Yeah, from the outside in. Now, most people are going to say that, this individual, Sidney Starr, is a very, what she did was unforgivable and how could you do something like that and blah, blah, right? I would also ask this question to the people that say, these girls out there and they're, dressing fast and all that kind of stuff. You don't even know how old they are a lot of times, blah, blah, right? Well, let's flip that this time. Let's say, Sidney's in the freaking lobby and this tall gentleman, because I guess Sidney's short, I guess, and he walks up like, hey, I think you're cute, and then, they start talking and nobody asks who ages who. They're just having conversation, right? And one thing leads to another. Attraction starts setting in somewhere and they go upstairs to the room and boom, something happens. Things go left. Now you find out on the back end of the relations, you find out on the back end that this individual is now of legal age. What happens then? Because there are men that have also said this thing about other female individuals that aren't of legal age, right? So I'm just I'm outraged, but I'm also playing devil's advocate here. So don't come for me in the comments. We're just having a conversation.
And that, she should be given the right to properly see this case go through. And we believe that she should be able to do that from the outside. And we also do believe that we don't,
Well, them dude, this guy's lips, boy, is diabolical. Like, what in the world is going on with his lips, man? Sheesh, boy. Somebody punch you before you came on this camera?
condone in any of the accused allegations as well. And, we're praying for both sides and both parties, and hoping that justice will be served.
Why is a 13-year-old even in Sidney's room in the first place if it was there? So what will be your reaction to that? Because that's a big question that a lot of people have.
These are very smart, intelligent people. You can't just go on record and say things. Through this whole thing, we're gonna get through this. People have been through worser.
Oh, boy, worser. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Worser. Ugh.
And yeah, the truth. Yeah, like this is not her kid. Like this is not Sidney at all.
Now, Starr has appeared on a number of reality shows, including Baddies, Love and Hip Hop, even Empire. She's also made waves in the headlines, too, over the years. Relations with actor Darius McCrary.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget about her relationship with Darius McCrary? This guy is a freaking crazy MFer, okay? I don't know. He always says they're just friends and they're always kicking it, having fun. I don't know how he even ran into her, but every time you see these two together, they're always like having fun and laughs. And if you didn't know them, you would think that they were together or they've been together before in some kind of way, if you know what I mean. But yeah, this relationship right here is kind of weird but funny at the same time.
It is important to note that these are allegations, and Starr has not been convicted of any.
He should have bring up the Chingy allegations, man, because again, that's what put Sidney Starr on the map. Besides the reality TV shows, was that Chingy allegation a long, long time ago, which he's made peace with now, but it was messed up, real messed up.
Charges, although, of course, we'll be following this one very closely. For TSR Investigates, I'm Justin Carter. Hello, roommates, and thank you.
Oh boy, if y'all still here, man, thank you for going through this. This is not good at all. I believe that Sidney's gonna go to prison for this. All right. And again, they say, well, she doesn't have a criminal record and all those other kind of things. I get it. But there's individuals out there that deleted people that committed armed robbery and things like that, carjacking. And that was the first crime that they committed. I watched this one story about these 3 kids and I forgot what part of the world it was in, Florida somewhere. But they deleted a homeless man. One was 13, one was 15, I think one was 17. They deleted this homeless man because they were bored. Probably the first real crime they've ever committed. But I promise you, it's probably going to be their last. Sidney Starr is in that category right now. And with that being said, thank you for attending another episode of the Armchair Anchorman. I'm just a normie here in the computer chair to give you the news in front of this webcam, this blue microphone. Let me know what you think about these allegations of Sidney Starr. Do you believe them? Okay? Are you saying Sidney Starr needs to go to prison forever? Are you saying, or are you saying we need to let this play out in court? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell, and share the video on your way out of the door. And I will see you on the next video.